Hi Seekers, welcome back to this week's episode of Scry with me. I have some good news. We're going to be switching up the books this time. We're not going to use the Star Tarot. We're actually going to be using the Sculptor in the Sky. If you are familiar with Teal Swan, then you know this book very well. This is one of her many books, and honestly, it's been a lifesaver on my journey. I definitely recommend checking it out. I'm almost finished with it, and honestly, when I was reading this, I was like, dang, where has this been all my life? This is basically like a prerequisite of like our beginnings, celestial beginnings, that is. If you believe in that kind of stuff, which I do highly. Saturn and Pisces here. I take spirituality very seriously, ironically. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to be using this today, and we'll see what messages come out from this book. Let's go ahead and set our intention. We're going to light some sage first, and I'm going to fan it around with my owl feather to really just hone in and tune in with source right now so we can get a really clear message coming through for you guys, okay? My nose is really itchy today, too. I feel like that's like a confirmation something really big's going to come through. My lighter. Here we go. I have sweetgrass as well as sage, but I'm going to use sage right now. I had the window cracked open, so yeah. Here we go. I asked my ancestors to come through, as well as any star beings, star family, angels, spirit guides to come through right now to send a clear message for the collective. May I be able to tap into the message today? I ask Owl and your medicine to come through to bring me forth your wisdom so I may transmute and translate any messages from source here into the 3D. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for hearing me. Thank you, Owl Medicine, for your power. May I soak in your power in my aura. Let's go. All right. Now that we set our intention, let's go ahead and just kind of submerge our energy into this book. Sometimes I like to press my hands on it, rub my hands on it. Sometimes, because one of my main elements that I work with is air, I like to blow into it. I do this with my tarot cards too before readings, so I go. Let's go ahead and dive into the messages for this week's episode. See what comes through. No, maybe I should have it like this. Yeah, that'd be easier. All right. To manifest is the first message. We're going to do 3 messages for this week's reading. So 1, to manifest. Second message, here we go. Oh, let me get all the pages in there, otherwise it won't be balanced. It is an enemy that comes into its power when you run away from it. Or, this sounds actually a lot like last week's reading, where you would wish you would just want to go away. It is an enemy that comes into its power when you run away from it. You run away from it. All right. Okay, now we're going to get the third and last message for this reading, then we'll move on to our charms. Okay? Sound good? Good. And what you didn't want got bigger? Oh, how ironic. And what you didn't want got bigger. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move into our charms. Let's see what the charms have for us today, okay? Let's go ahead and shake them around. Are there any messages from the universe, from source, from the creator? If you have any messages for this reading, allow them to come through, the charms for this reading, for the Scry with Me reading this week. Oh, one jumped out. I don't even want to look yet. Moving around. Oh. Okay. I got this one too. Okay. Alright. Last one. Odd. Very odd. Alright, we have... Alright, the first charm we have is a heart with an arrow flowing through it. Love, it says on it. We have a horse galloping here. We have a fairy. A fairy. As well as a Mickey Mouse key. Disney key. Alright. So, with the heart saying love on it, there's actually a hole in the heart. Now that I'm looking at it, there's a hole in this heart. You see that? Like, this is where the actual, like, lanyard, whatever, like, where you connect the charm onto something, that's where the hole would be for it. But why is there a hole in this heart? What is it that you feel that you have a void in? I feel that there's a major void, especially having to do with your heart space. There's something missing. Maybe a piece was from before, maybe when you actually allowed yourself to manifest your true desires, as we see here in the first initial scrying. Whatever you tried to manifest before, it left a hole in your heart. It left a void, right? So maybe there's this distrust you have. I'm sensing. So the second message says it's an enemy that comes into its power when you run away from it. So this void, this feeling within your heart, have you been running away from it for some while? Because if you have, this feeling of emptiness and distrust is going to keep coming back, and it's going to show up in your life. Funny enough, the universe has multiple ways on how to show us the same damn message over and over again until we fucking get it, point blank, and this is something you can't run away from. This could be karma, really. Like, I mean, I'm a big believer in past lives. I've uncovered my past lives in this lifetime, not willingly. They just kind of came up out of left field for me, and how they came into fruition was by learning my karmic lessons, and seeing them through the connections I was making and understanding myself deeper on a very deeper spiritual level allowed me to find the void that was also within my heart. Because, none of us we're perfectly imperfect, right? And we're perfectly imperfect in the universe's eyes. And mindfully keep this in mind, the universe isn't a cruel thing. It's not a cruel energy. It's the energy of love. So whatever energy we are putting out into the universe, we will get back threefold. I am a solid believer in that, especially in this lifetime. We reap what we sow, definitely. And this void could be a carried over wound from another lifetime. With the horse, again, I noted before that the horse symbolizes freedom, taking action, leaps of faith, quantum leaps of faith, actually, if we're talking on a celestial term here, or a quantum spiritual science term here. I would definitely see the horse as something for you that there's something that you have to run towards, right? You need to run towards this in order to end it. The universe is reminding you right now, as well as my guides, my angels, and my ancestors who are coming through for this reading. They're reminding you to not be afraid to really just allow yourself to gallop through this void, right? To get through that veil of illusion that we hold over ourselves, that we hold over our hearts, right? The fairy energy here, Makes me think of, the Fae, elemental beings and stuff. Okay, so with the Fae, we have a little fairy here. I'm also seeing that you should be diving into elemental magic, working with the Fae, working with the fairies. Keeping in mind, not every fairy, every elemental being is a nice love and light being. We have dark forces out in nature too. And that is essential to know and to hold protection on you if you dive into elemental magic or, connecting with the elemental spirits, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is because there maybe most likely was a part of you that was connected to this fairy stuff when you're little. It's not make-believe. The reason why when we were kids we believe in things with such high belief is because we were so much more connected than we are now. When we get older, the world tends to shape our viewpoints, and we start to believe in what other people tell us rather than listening to what was within, right? So with this Disney Mickey Mouse key thing right here, when you think of Disney World, you're actually reminded of the joy and the whimsical kind of nature of just magic, right? I was obsessed with that movie Fantasia growing up with Mickey Mouse, and he's dancing with the broom and it's sweeping, and then you have a little flying Pegasus, and then, I was obsessed with it when I was little, and that to me was magic, right? Magic. Tuning into your inner child is also really, really crucial right now for you, for your healing. So how else are you going to heal yourself, heal this void within you that you keep running away from, if the thing you're running away from is your inner child? Your inner child calls to you to be open and to be loving again, and just to be, to exist. That's simply enough. Nothing we do here, like all this right here that I do, isn't who I am. It's how I radiate as a person in this world. Who I inspire others to be. That's it. Embracing the inner child is the essence. Embracing the inner child is your key to your magic. I think I'm going to go ahead and draw another charm. Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. All right, let's see. One more charm. Let's see what comes through. We got a leaf. When I think of leaves, I think of air element, communication, right? Communication, intellectual. You're definitely somebody who really admires and appreciates communication. Wholeheartedly, you do. One of the big lessons that the universe is telling me right now that you're learning in this life is how to go with the wind. Let the wind carry you to your destination instead of just standing still, hoping the wind and holding resistance towards the wind. You have to be much like a tree, right? Just let the wind flow within your branches. Let the wind flow within your energy. Let it blow whatever parts, like dead leaves, right? Like, because it's fall right now, to just flow off of you. Those are parts you don't no longer need anymore. So these are parts of you that are being outgrown, and you're shedding right now, and you're moving into a new season of your life. You're definitely moving into a new season of your life is what I'm seeing now. And that's what you got to run towards. Definitely. Because if you don't, whatever you didn't want to happen is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Like the third message says here. And what you didn't want got bigger. This denial of the void, this denial of your wounds. It's just going to get bigger and bigger until you can't stand anymore, and you're literally going to be screaming at the universe, yourself, your higher self, that you had enough. You don't want it to get to that point, trust me. I mean, I've been there. I'm stubborn as hell. I'm a Taurus, okay? I mean, I can be pretty stubborn when it comes to my actions in life, but that's what I'm learning. That's what I'm learning right now. is to go with the flow. Whether that means water-wise, right? Water flowing down a river, whether that means a wind gust coming through, letting the wind just carry me like the leaf, right? Whether it's an avalanche, you know, from a mountain, just tumbling down the side of the mountain, letting myself tumble and just break to the floor, you know, whether that means just a fire burning and raging, let the fire come out. But yeah, I think this concludes this reading for you guys. Definitely to manifest your true potential, this means running towards what you were scared of the most, because that's definitely the time whenever you want to make an approach to something in your life, when you want to manifest in your life. It's always the shit that you're scared of. Whenever you're scared to literally jump into something is when you jump into it. And for this instance, to gallop into it, to run into it like the horse does. So yeah, this concludes this message for you for this week. I hope you found resonance with this. And if you like this reading, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will be putting another video up for you guys next week, okay? If you would like a reading from me, go ahead and check out the description box below. I appreciate you so much, even if you just look at the services I offer. I also do paintings as well because I'm an artist. I will definitely talk to you next time, and I'll have a video up for you guys next week. Again, I do offer services, so don't be afraid to shout out. Talk to you next time, Seekers. Bye!